Unfinished. Welcome. Ma! What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. Half pint. That's right. So what's going on besides UP's top secret project? That PPP shifter, man, that thing is slicker than snail shit, man. I want me one of those. M3, the genius. I don't know about all that, but when I'm in my wheelhouse, I'm good. Good to see you, Damien. See you working on your monkey bike. What's going on, Lars? How you doing? Hello, Lars. It's been a while since I broke this out. Juan! Hello, Juan. How are you? You had me at PP. This is nice. This is really nice. Let's see. Well, I thought... Okay. Well, I was trying to make a moderator happen, but I'll try again. You know, the beautiful thing, Juan, is Lars is a peaceful man, and thank God, because Juan, just like Lars, just like Chuck Norris, he has a third fist hidden in behind his beard. So you're lucky that Lars is such a laid-back, cool guy. JB, what's happening? Nice to see you. We're just messing around here in the shop. It's cold. We had some nice, bright, sunny days, and then it turned cold and it snowed all day. No accumulation, but it snowed all day. Hey, what's happening there, 077? Hey, Dutch. Hey, bud. All right. Be right back. Gonna get myself something to drink. I'm back. Did you miss me? I know you did. Wow, 13 people, and I've only been on for like 5 minutes. That's impressive. Oh, I noticed that 6% wasn't going to do a live tonight, and I'm like, who's going to fill the Monday night slot? Because I don't think we did anything last week. So I said, to heck with it. I'll do it. So here I am. Dutch, thanks. Just the beard alone. YouTube has a place for me. Yes. YouTube has a place for me. If you need scatterbrained, annoying, big dudes, yeah, that's right. No, just kidding. I've been playing Bob Vila at my house. Our shower stall, the floor started to get a little spongy, so it was time to upgrade anyway. And we ended up tearing out the stall, shower stall, and I'm currently replacing a little bit of the flooring. And gonna start putting it all back together here real soon. So fun stuff. Working on the weekends. Crap, the shower alone costed us $1,200. Oy. But, you know, Gotta have a place to wash your butt, right? Sponges, Tad, and stop blinding us. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to go into Dougster After Dark? Because we can totally do that. Is that better? I can even make it a little more. There we go. Dougster After Dark. Yeah, I don't understand. Last time I had the live stream going, those lights didn't bother my phone all that much. But boy, today, we'll go back to, yeah, that way you can see my handsome face. How's it going? Too much? Oh, you're saying you want Dougster? Okay. Hold on, I gotta move something. How's that? Outside of a train station. Yeah, man. I'm going to take the BNSF from Grand Rapids all the way to the Keys, man. Yeah, like Stobe the Hobo. Check out old YouTube episodes of this guy, Stobe the Hobo, Stobe. And he's a drunk. He rides the train, and yeah, it's amazing. He dodges the cops, which they call the bulls, and he goes all over these great United States, goes and checks out stuff, and it's actually pretty cool stuff. And then he's a great piano player, and all the music you hear was played on the piano by him. But all of a sudden, he stopped posting, and I think he might have perished. Took my face hair. I got some. Not much, but some. I grow a terrible beard. I grow an okay mustache. If I want to look like an 80s police officer. Another reason why I pulled you over. You were doing 56 in a 55. He actually owns the railroad. Really like your hat style. When and where was it first deleted? Debuted? Which hat, Damien? Oh, this one? Oh, I've had this hat for years. It's got my big pin collection on it. I've had this hat probably a decade. Yeah, decade. I've got a 2-hex pin on it. We're down to one person. Oh no. Well, I guess it's just you, Juan. You're the only Juan. Hey, okay. We got more. Oh, I believe this comes from merry old England. The snap bill cap. Then again, it was very prominent. Hats like these are very prominent in the 20s also in America. Like every man had one of these hats, it seemed like in the 20s. And they were big, pillowy ones too. Like the style of hat like Andy Capp, the cartoon character, wears. Decade. Yeah, because I've got Mopar's Mustangs minivans unfinished and one, but my people little icon says, oh, now I'm up to four. So we just doubled. We went from two to four. But I have more likes than I do people in here, so that's important. I'm just happy y'all are here. Seeing at least four chatters. Now we're down to three. Yeah. Well, don't you guys get handicap hot fries down at the convenience store? The sorry you bought them because they're not really that great. The hot fries. I'm sure I just stepped on someone's toes and they love them, so I apologize in advance, but I don't care for them. But yeah, it's got handicap on the bag. They're little wannabe French fries. They call them French fries, but it's like a corn snack, a real light, airy corn snack. No? Huh. That's funny. They're around here. I'm being limited by YouTube, but I'm doing great. Hey, thanks, Juan. Lost a toe finger? No, no, no. I can still count to 20. Yep. I have not lost any of my digits or any extremities. I lost my pancreas last summer, last October, but that wasn't my choice. Juan, you're something else. Dougster After Dark. Appendix? Yeah, I had my appendix out. I had appendicitis during No Name Nationals and didn't realize it. And then it was in the beginning stages, so I wasn't that uncomfortable the whole time. But it was after I got home, and then I wasn't feeling good, and then found out that I had appendicitis. So yeah, basically I went on vacation and then I got sick right at the tail end of my vacation, and then I was on medical vacation. I don't know. And here's the funny thing, Colleen, is when I get subscribers, it surges. I get big surges and then nothing, a big surge and nothing, a big surge and nothing. Or on my shorts, I'll pick up a sub here and a sub there and a sub here and a sub there, which is, hey, that's fine by me. But yeah, I'm at that like 277. As a matter of fact, I picked up a few subscribers on my last live. So hey, here's to hoping. Yeah, I haven't posted much. I've been busy doing other things. Yeah, I do need to make some more. I need to make some more long form. I've been doing a lot of shorts, which have been doing that too. I've been doing a lot of shorts, which has been working pretty well, but I need to get back into making some more long form videos. And the last video I made when I finished the tunnel ram and did some headport work stuff and the cleanup on the painting of that intake manifold gas or pan, actually did pretty all right on video on views, surprisingly enough. So, yeah, I need to do a little more long form. And now that the weather's improving, yeah. What's all the noise? Oh man, it's Don. Hi Teflon, how are you? Cheers. Teflon Don. Well, we haven't went international yet, but I'm still happy. So, what's new in everyone's world on a Monday night? I know, thrilling stuff, right? I went to work. I uh took care of some chores and I just kind of milled around the house. Oh, I did bills. Yay, bills. I'm global. That's right. The Wolverine Garage, stretching across the vast earth. No stone unturned. Even the natives in East Bongo Squeegee know who I am and want to be me. Yes. Global outreach of the Wolverine Garage. Nice. What's happening? Good to see you, Dano. Welcome to my live stream. Yep. Well, if you, one of the tricks a guy would do is he would, on your sidewalls, he put grease on the sidewall. And so if you did get overspray, you could just take it just wipe off the grease. So that's one idea I've seen. But then again, then your tire gets that a real greasy look to it. And you got to clean it. So yeah, this old dude in our neighborhood painted his wheels and he didn't bother to mask off the tires or anything. He just painted the wheels. So for years he'd drive around and he had this silver fog around his sidewall of his tire because he just didn't care. His wheel looked pretty though. Nice and silver. Jury duty. Ah. Land cleared? You guys looking to just improve your yard, or are you looking to build new digs? Index cards. Yep. Tim Windsor, how's it going? Welcome. How you feeling, my guy? Doing better, I hope. Doing better, I hope. Yeah. Now, jury duty is everyone's civic duty. Everyone's civic duty. Still sucks, though. Thanks, Tim. You're awesome. Yeah, I've been lucky enough. I've had to fill out my paperwork for jury duty, but I've never been selected. Someday I'm gonna have to do it, I'm sure. Wanting to build a shop. Nice. So you've got an acre. So half acre for house. Will you could probably build a pretty decent shop depending on what your village, township, city, whoever will allow. Sometimes it's a slam dunk. Other times, yeah. Well, you can't have this because of fire access. Fire access. And this and that and the other thing. I remember my parents going just stark raving bananas against the township, just trying to get a back garage built because it had to be this many feet from this property line and this many feet from this property line and could only be this tall and couldn't be near this and it had to be away from that. And yes, it's always good to be on this side of the sod for sure. 60 by 80. Yeah, actually, I was thinking a little bit bigger, like a 100 by 300. That'd be about right. It would be small here too. 40 by 60. That's a nice shop. I mean, I'd say the Wolverine Garage where I'm in now is probably 30 by 30, and it's okay. I turn on the lights, but I blind Colleen. Make everyone's pupils go. Yeah, I don't have a lot of property here. I could probably do actually what I would like if I was to do anything to this shop is just take the back wall out and make it deeper. That's all I would want. Maybe 20 feet back. And it's all block, so it'd be easy to do. Even if I just make a doorway through here and then have the addition on the back side, so I just walk through this wall and then into the back side, into the back shop, I'd be fine with that too. And then have a bay door on the south side of the house. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, antique furniture is a fickle thing. Either it sells like hotcakes or it don't. Anthony, welcome. Good to see you. Just turn to my right. Ah! Like that. Let's see if I can't adjust it. There we go. So yeah, the wall right directly behind me is east. And yeah, if I could just open this thing up with more space deep wise, I'd be fine. But then again, if this thing never, if I never expand, I'm fine with that too. I would like to utilize the attic space better, get into the attic better. Yeah, yeah. And it's just how people, well, before COVID, things, money wasn't getting as devalued. The inflation wasn't hitting us as hard as it is now. That's one of the reasons, because you don't have extra cash, you can't buy toys or those nicer things like good antique furniture. Herman Miller furniture is really big around here because Herman Miller is from Zealand. And as a matter of fact, you can go to Zealand and you drive down by where the Herman Miller plant is, and literally walking right across the street is Howard Miller, and he was a clockmaker. So there's Herman Miller furniture and Howard Miller clocks. And I have a Howard Miller clock. It was made in 1980, and it's made with oak. I think it's red oak. It's gorgeous. It's like a schoolhouse regulator clock. Has the gold leaf on the pendulum cover. It says regulator on it. It's gorgeous. Puerto Rico 2.0. 1.0 is just fine. We don't need a sequel. As I've been playing Bob Vila, I've been pulling out a lot of tools that I've bought and put in my toolbox and everything, and haven't used them in quite some time or at all. And then finally he's like, oh yeah, I've got this, and I've got that. Next thing you know, I'm like, I haven't ever used this tool, and you're using it. I got this great Blue Point hacksaw that I got at a flea market for like less than $10, like $9. And yeah, that thing works great. And then my friend calls me. He says, hey, I'm at this estate sale and I've got 3 rusty C-clamps, all made in USA. You want them? $15. Yeah, I'll do that. Brought them home, cleaned them up, squirted them with some paint, so they're all blue. Well, as a matter of fact, here's one now. I got 2, what's this one? This one's a Williams, made in USA, and it's like a 6-incher. And then the other ones are like 5 inches or 4, they're like 5 inches, and they're also made in USA, and they're Wintons. But anyways, these things I've had for a few months now. Haven't used them. I've been using them nonstop in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. It's like, man, I'm glad I had these. Isn't it funny how that works out? Oh yeah, fun to do for sure. Yeah, Damien. That used to be one of my hobbies when I was working an ungodly amount of hours. My last job before the one I have now, I worked 84 hours a week. And it was horrible. I worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. A short day was 8 hours. I didn't know what to do with myself with 14 hours off, 16 hours off. But I would get Coleman lanterns, and I'd bring them home, and I'd dive through them and do all the meticulous work and get them all back up and running, perfect again, and restore them. And one of those little things where I could spend just a little bit of time that I had and do that. And that was also the time when I made so much money that I just bought whatever my heart desired. I mean, I had the money, my bills were paid, and I started getting like porcelain license plates and all the expensive stuff that I always dreamed of having. I was starting to buy. I was looking for gas pumps. I didn't find a gas pump. Still looking for a gas pump, but I want a specific one for the shop. It's a Wayne 70 gas pump, and they're like 7 feet tall, and they're square, and they call them the lighthouse because they have light up panels. There's 4 panels in the top of it that dictate brand or whatever the type of fuel is or whatever, and plus it has a globe on top. And so I want one of those, and then I want to paint it up in Shell Super colors. So it's going to be bright yellow and white and red. And I think that thing is with a Shell globe on top. I think it's going to look sharp, be right outside of the shop. I really want a visible, but those are expensive. Yeah, no non-tax overtime would be nice, but thankfully I very rarely ever work overtime at my current job, and I'm all right with that. I've been at my job ooh, almost 7 years, and very rarely do we work any overtime, and I'm okay with that. I've worked enough overtime in my time. Yes, made great money. I don't care anymore. It was like, oh man, make a little extra money. I'm like, my weekends are way more valuable than that. I can do stuff I want to do, like wrench on motorcycles and cars and the like. Mopar's got to be non-taxable. Oh no, 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 no. Juan, see, that's why you need to understand that there is such a thing as the Mopar tax. And just because we have Mopar and it's hard to find, all Mopar guys are hoarders. We all squirrel away the parts because you just can't find them. And then and then you pay the Mopar tax. Like if it's big block Chevy, or big block Chevy, small block Chevy, I mean, you can get speed parts at McDonald's. And you pay more for speed parts for Mopar because it's Mopar. But then I think the Ford guys pay a premium more. I think that the Ford tax is steeper than the Mopar tax. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you pay the Mopar tax. The heck with overtime. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Totally with you. I put in my time. When it's pretty bad when you're working and you don't know what day it is. It's like, is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? It doesn't matter. And then midway through the shift, all of a sudden the boss hands you your paycheck and you go, "It's Thursday? Wow." And yeah, you look at your check and you go, "Huh, okay, great. Ooh, it's a big check. Coperino, what's going on?" But all you do is go home or go to the bank, cash it, pull out some so you can work for the rest of the weekend and go. Yeah. Oh, I know exactly your sector. Yes, there is no overtime. There is no tips. Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what job he has. I used to do that right out of school. Mean Street Mopar. Welcome. Yep. Unfinished projects 777. And we're not talking about Boeing aircraft. Oh, man. So for Cope, I made sure to start off with the camera on the stand. That way, Cope doesn't get car sick. See you, Don. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When you can prove to them, that you're valuable, and they're still like, oh, we don't know, and you're like, for real, you guys would be stuck without me. Huh, okay. So hey, sometimes you got to show them, Damien. How do things run when Damien's on vacation? Yeah, I work in the warehouse too. I ship the chips. Load trailers all day. Or we receive stuff. Yeah, yeah. Slow down. They don't pay. Yeah, yeah. Step up the pay. I step up my game. Yeah, they don't even where I work. No, none of our maintenance personnel touch anything on the high lows. Uh, when it goes down, we just pull them off to the side, get them put to a special zone and special spot, and we have an outside service come in and take care of us. That's all they do. We call them in, and they do whatever they need, kick the mules in the ass, and away we go. They just put new hydraulic lines on my high low. I had one blow last week, sprayed me in the face. That was awesome. Thank God it wasn't a lot of pressure. It was just more annoying. But yeah, right in my right here. That's where I took the blast. That was a fun day at work. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Walking all day does suck. Yes. Yes. They're my dad worked summers with when he was a teenager, he worked for the summer as summer help for Pepsi with my grandfather. And dad was talking about this old guy who had worked there forever. He'd been there longer than my grandfather had. And he was so bored at work that he would bring three newspapers to work. He'd bring the Grand Rapids Press, the Detroit Free Press, and then he'd read the Chicago Tribune. And he'd read all three newspapers cover to cover in his shift. And his chair, he had a chair that sat next to the control panel, and he didn't face the machine. He was back to the machine. Hey, Dutch, what's happening? So he would hear something going on, and he'd be reading the newspaper, and he'd hear something, and he'd reach over and flip a switch, or he'd reach over and push a button. Or maybe he'd step up off of his chair for just a second to check on something and then go right back to where he was on his paper. He was so good at his job that when he'd go on vacation, the guy who would fill in for him, his buns never hit the chair. He was chasing problems the whole time. He never, ever sat. He ran his little butt off for the 2 weeks that he was off while the old guy was on vacation. And he'd come back and just sit in the chair, push a few buttons, and read his newspapers. So Dad finally wants to know, why do you read three newspapers? And the old guy said, because it's wrote by three different reporters. The same story wrote by three different reporters, three different takes on the same story. You get a better understanding of the story because everyone's going to tell you a little bit more. Fascinating. Manufacturer's tractor trailer. Oh, brake shoes. I am totally with you on that one, Damien. Yeah, it is refreshing. Like, ooh, I got a problem. I get to get away from this mindless shit. Yeah, pretty impressive when you're. So you're just riveting. Are you guys gluing or riveting on the lining to the drums, or do you glue and rivet? Justin Van Dyke has entered the chat. Hello, Justin. How are you this evening? Lewis Harnish. Hi, Lewis Harnish. How are you this evening? Riveting for sure. We call them cores. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I bet you're sore. Yeah, don't mess with the bull. Well, good, Justin, and good, Lewis. Glad to see you're on. Yeah, the semi truck brakes are huge. The drums alone for semi trucks are quite heavy. I worked at a asphalt company when I was in my teens, and we were doing a brake job on a triaxle dump truck. So that's 4 axles with brakes. So that's 8 drums. And I had to go up to a place called Road Equipment to get all the stuff. And I mean, I went there for the cans, the adjusters, the cams, drums, shoes, springs, everything, seals, everything for a brake job on this triaxle. And the owner was overheard the guy I was working with. He's like, "Hey, go up there, get everything and 4 drums because it's just a 3/4 ton truck and it's not going to like having 8 drums in the back of it. So go up and then bring that back and then go up again later in today and pick up the other 4." The owner overheard that, wheels right around on his cowboy boots. He always wore cowboy boots. And he's like, "You take it all in one load." Okay. So I did. The guys at Road Equipment, they're like, "You're not taking all this, are you?" "Yeah, I have to. I was told to." So this poor 3/4 ton Ford that I'm driving is basically like this all the way home. I think I drove about 35 maximum. I didn't even take the highway going home. We weren't that far away, but at the same note, still shouldn't be having that much weight in the back of a truck. Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't get the yeah, Lewis, we couldn't get the bolt out of the Nova yet. I've got I got a secret weapon in my toolbox, I think, that we'll have to try the next time we work on Justin's Nova. Uh so Justin is relation to me, and he has a 76 Nova that him and I work on, and Lewis has helped too. And yeah, we were trying to pull the rear brake hose off of the car, and the bolt stripped out. I mean, it's probably been on there since 1976 when they built the car, so it's rusted in there. So we might end up having to cut the bracket off. But if I can save it, I will. Ooh, that swept line is so cool. And the story behind it's even cooler. So, yeah. Yeah, I love swept lines. Is there a bolt stuck in the Nova? No, it's just a little bracket that comes off of there's a tab that comes off of the axle tube, and it's just a piece of stamped steel. And then that's what the block for the brake hose bolts to send, for the union to go to both the wheel cylinders. That little bolt is just stripped out on top. We'll get it out. Worst case scenario, it's just a simple bolt, and it actually just passes through the bracket. So there's a little tail of it that hangs out. So it could be way worse. Like the vent tube is also on my Ram pickup. The vent tube is also the hold down for the distribution block, and it's made of brass. And yeah, that was interesting to get out, but we got it out and we reused it. Yeah, yeah, Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. I know what you mean. They're hot to grab from the outside. Juan, you're something else. Oh, wow, I'm up to 13 viewers and 10 likes. This is nice. Can't be stuck if it's liquid. Yes. The gas axe definitely gets things apart. The problem is, and the gas axe can put things back together, but it doesn't normally look as good as it did before you started. Oh man, don't talk about work. Let's talk about cool stuff like horsey powers and foot pounds o torque. The cool stuff. Got a horn button. There you go. See, it says Dodge. I'm figuring it's 50s. Got that in a lot of stuff not too long ago. All sorts of neat stuff. It just happened to be here on top of the fridge. You're on top of my fridge, by the way. So you're keeping my soda cold. And my beer. That's the best part I've seen from a Dodge. Oh, man. Well, not everything can be a Toyota, Juan. Oh, Toyota. Justin's ears just perked up. He likes Toyotas. Yeah, I figure it's 40s or 50s. On those really gigantic steering wheels that went way out there because they didn't have power steering, so you needed a huge wheel. They were usually white. Armstrong power steering. Armstrong, Armstrong. Dad talks about driving semi trucks that didn't have power steering. That's where the real Armstrong power steering comes from. Where unless that truck's moving, you're not steering the axle. When I was a teenager, I had before I really started working on cars, I had the power steer belt had fallen off of my Dodge Shadow, and I never bothered to put it back on. I just dealt with the crappy steering. Isn't that sad? And all I had to do was just take some belts off, put a belt on, and put the belts back on. But I didn't know what I was doing, so I just dealt with it. Unfinished, good to see you. Take care. And W350, brother. $300 grain, moving at 1081. That is pretty good. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah. Old Dodge Diplomat. There was a guy that had an old junkyard. He inherited the junkyard from his father-in-law, and they had a Diplomat cop car in the back. And he would talk such a tale about that 318 Diplomat and keep making it a point that it had a chrome top ring. And I still to this day have no idea what significance the chrome top ring made on a 318 cop car. But he says, oh, fast, fast. Which, I mean, 318 is not slow. They're not fast, but they're not slow. But yeah, he talked a big, long running game on that chrome top ring. Still don't understand the hubbub. Yeah, manual brakes would be all right. Disc front, drum rear. Yeah. Does that take? No, that's the 80s. That's got a small aluminum master cylinder. Tom, good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, the 4-bolt master cylinders were gone by that time. Old cars were slow. By today's standards, they were slow, but you could have a fast car from back in the day, like the Chrysler 300. The 300 originally meant 300 horsepower. Back when 300 horsepower was like, whoa, look out. So the hot car for Chrysler was the 300 because of 300 horsepower. The Chrysler 300 usually was a really nice car. A 300 Hearst, like a 1970 or 71 300 Hearst, is a cool car. They came in white and gold, and they have this really cool trunk lid that's also a spoiler, and it's fiberglass, and they're cool cars. At least to me, they're cool. And it's a big car. It's a big, long car. Good point, Damien. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. This is great. Yeah, and the 300, believe it or not, the 300 series, there's letter cars from back in the day. There's a 300A, 300B, 300C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. And then they stopped at L. And then you had the 300 when it came back in the late 90s. That's why it was a 300M, because they were picking up, they were supposedly picking up on the mark again. That's why it was the 300M, but the letter designation kind of fell away because nobody got it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Do you want a juice box? You're just in time for nap time, Neverboard. No, I was talking about Chrysler 300 letter cars, because there's the A through L years ago. And the early 300s came with Hemis, dual quads. Yeah, man, they were hot tamales. I just started my truck with my remote starter. Oops. Oh, Lady Dougster started her ride, and I thought it was mine. It's right here. It's right here. Never fear. Here you go. Have some sandpaper. 80 grit. Don't you like sandpaper? Ah, I'm glad you're not my neighbor then. Manual steering will be just fine as long as the vehicle's moving and you're not going to try to parallel park the thing all the time. Be fine. As a matter of fact, manual steering, you're not taking any horsepower to turn that pump, so that's more power to the pavement. Be all right. I'll leave it in the same place. Well, I am lucky because I lead a pretty quiet existence. I mean, sometimes I'll, rap tap tap on a few things or whatever here in my yard, but I'm pretty quiet here. And but I cut loose every once in a while. But I've got a neighbor directly behind me. He steals the show hands down every day of the week. He makes me look like a Boy Scout. That's all I'm going to say. He's something else. Yeah, the pre-fuselage New Yorker. Yes, yes. or like a 71 Fury. Yeah, they're good looking cars. See, I like the pre-fuselage. I like the fuselage ones, the big slab siders. Um, but yeah, New Yorker was always a nice car. A guy I know, his nickname is Effin' Mike because all he ever says is F, the F word, F. He doesn't even realize he does it. But anyways, he has a 1950 New Yorker, and that thing is like blue jean blue with a blue jean blue interior, and it's a 4-door, and that car is just so nice. I'd love to have it, but he's one of those guys who wants $2 million for a $5,000 car. And when it last ran, the straight eight, I think it had a straight eight in it. It has a straight eight. It runs so quiet, you can't tell it's running. With the hood open, it runs that quiet. It's amazing. That's a cool little car. My uncle picked up a few years ago a what tool do I have for that bolt? Okay, Justin, I'll go get it. It took me a minute to find it. So, Justin, this is the tool. And it's kind of like a vice grip, and it's adjustable. So you can move the anvil up. And what I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do, Justin, is use this and close down on what's left of that nut, and hopefully turn it out with this. It's worth a try. Or I'll bring my saw, we'll cut the thing off and weld it back on. It's really no big deal. But if we can save it, I'd like to. Yeah, it's an adjustable wrench, but it's kind of got a new spin on it. At least that's what it was touted as, was to take strip fasteners off. I don't have much faith in this tool. Like, I've hardly ever used it. So it's worth a try. I've had it for years and years and years. A socket extractor. Well, the thing is this is going through just a piece of stamped steel. It's not like something skookum. So if we really get something in there and really reef on it, we'll just bend the whole bracket. It's just a little bitty bracket. So we'll get it figured out. Me and Justin will get it figured out. Lewis comes and plays with us too, though. He has. I'll put this back in the toolbox. So yeah, that's my little secret weapon, if you'd even call it one. Yeah, I don't have much faith in it, but it's worth a try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? It may work, right? You gotta go. If you want to know, you gotta go. Yeah, yeah. Allowed. There used to be a guy that used to run around in my neighborhood. He had a gold Chevy pickup, and it was like a early '90s. And oh no, it's rounded off pretty good. We did try to drive a socket onto it, but I think the problem is that um the there's no real good way because it's right on top of the axle tube, and there's no real good way to get a hammer strike on it because Justin was trying to hammer a socket onto it and wasn't having much luck. He was getting frustrated. It was funny. Laughing with you, Justin, not at you. Yeah. But worst case scenario, we'll, yeah, well, hopefully it'll work. Tried a ball socket? I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, Lewis. A ball socket? I kind of wish I'd invest in some of those. Destruction is a good option, but it's the last option. Yeah, we tried the vice. We should try the vice grip some more. What I want to do is bring my torch over and give it a little baptism by fire. Get everything good and heated up, and maybe we'll try the vice grip. How it sits, it's hard to get a good bite in on it, and then get a swing on it. We'll get it. Justin and I are resourceful lads. Oh, that compress the pins. Oh, yeah. So it's like a universal socket. You can just place it on any socket and it'll conform to it and turn it out. Yeah, those things are junk. Those things, it's a good idea, but those things, yeah, you'll just kill them. If that's what you're thinking, if that's what I think you're talking about, those things they're a good idea, but they're not really made to be used. Yeah, torch does you in the win the battle, Danster, for sure. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but those things are garbage. They're cool, great idea, but yeah, use them and put some. They're meant to just take little fasteners apart and put it back together. Nothing that you really want to put some. Yeah, tighten them down. You'll tattle on that tool right now. Never bored. Nice having you on. Take care. Good seeing you. See you later in the week, maybe. Yeah, Neverboard's got. He doesn't live that far away from me. He lives up north a little bit, and maybe I'm gonna have to go hunt him down one day and hang out with him. Or maybe there's a up north of me. There's a dragway, Northern Dragway, I think it is. I just found out about, so maybe go up there and check out Northern Dragway this summer. I know that there's an operating Dog and Suds drive-in over by Norton Shores that I want to go check out. Maybe I'll ride the motorcycle out there. Probably Wednesday. All right. I'll try to make it, man. I'd like to start this. How far is Northern from you? What I'd like to do is start, and it's easier to talk about it than to make it happen, but I'd love to like do like races on Fridays or all summer, or go to the races on Saturday, but go to a track, put my butt in the bleachers, and bring you along with me, go live and show some of the races and go to different tracks, because there's a whole bunch of roundy round tracks around over here. Okay. Yeah, there's the M40 Speedway way down by Pawpaw, southwest of me. There's Berlin Raceway, where the legend Johnny Benson uh, raced for years and years and years until he hit it big, and that's northwest of me. And then we've got the Kalamazoo Speedway, the world's fastest 3/8 mile. 131 Dragway is like, I'd say 10 minutes away from my house. This spring, when they fire up for test and tune, I can stand in my driveway and hear them touch off the cars from my driveway. It's faint, but when there's no leaves on the trees, I can hear them racing. Oh, Winston Circle track. I'd like to check that out. I also want to go over by Muskegon. There, the Thunderbird Raceway is still kicking, and I've always wanted to go check that place out. There's Okay. Take care, Neverboard. Great talking with you. Sorry to keep you around a little extra. Yeah, there's also I-96 Speedway over by Portland, which is out Dutch's way, and that's 3/8 mile dirt. Yeah, it's dirt. So yeah, there's a lot of racing to be done around here that I'd love. Oh, and there's Galesburg Speedway over by Kalamazoo. So just see, I just talked about some roundy round tracks, and I keep thinking of another one that's nearby. So I could float between those. Plus, I could go to Martin Dragway for a night. Plus, I could go to Central Dragway, which used to be known as Central Dragway. Now it's Mid Michigan Motorplex in Stanton, and could go up there for the night, or go like what Neverboard was talking about is Northern there in up by Muskegon way, or up north of us, north of me. So yeah, there's definitely stuff, but it's easier to sit here and talk that stuff until it's like, yeah, after a long day, let's go out to the races for the night and be in the sun all day. No thanks. So I want to try. I'll do it at least a little bit. Yeah, Danster, I don't know if Pawpaw, Michigan is named after the pawpaw trees, or if there was a Native American named Pawpaw, or there was a Pawpaw tribe or something like that. I don't know, because we got a lot of stuff around here that's very got a lot of Native American influence. Oh, Danster, what you doing today, bud? Gonna whip out your camera and start showing us stuff? Or are you gonna be shy? No, I'm just messing with you. Lewis, nice seeing you. Take care. Have a good evening. Louie. Oh no. He's gotta go. Oh man. Impressive. I've got 15 people on. Well, hello, Mr. Austin. How are you? Welcome to my live stream. Yes, Austin. What you working on in the garage? Austin's one of my homies. Old Austin scored a set of Keystone chrome wheels for like 125 bucks. The tires are destroyed on them, but at least he thinks they're Keystones. They got Keystone caps for sure, but they're like a little better looking modular chrome wheel with the rivets, the ring of rivets in the holes. Good looking wheels. Nice falafel. Nice. You gonna probably munch on that with some pita bread. That'd be good. That'd be real good. Oh yeah, please do, Austin. Please do. He bought them off a marketplace. Yeah, man. Oh, Danster. To go along with that hummus, that's basically what it is. Falafel is hummus. Get yourself some of those big flat, they're thin, flat but crispy pretzels, and use those and dip them in that too, along with your pita bread. That's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. I always like chicken salad and a pita bread too. Yeah, you bought that. You for sure bought that right, Austin, for sure. Yeah, Chrome's wonderful, man. All cleaned up, looking good. Yeah, Chrome's where it's at. You can polish aluminum to the point to where it'll shine as bright as Chrome, but it takes a lot of work to get there. Yeah, eat like a king too. Have an overflowing, like you need 3 napkins just to eat the darn thing. Yeah. God. Oh yeah, I can hear Austin now. Chrome. Austin's favorite song is her favorite color is chrome. So Austin, tell everyone what your Austin, tell everyone about your project, please. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. Oh, that sucks, Damien. Yeah. Yeah. See, I've heard many different ways on that statement because I've had the Harley riders talk about the chrome don't get you home, but black will get you back. And like the shiny bits that cover up everything on a motorcycle so you can't see, is it leaking oil? Well, it's a Harley, it's going to leak oil anyway, but is it leaking oil in places it's not supposed to be? Can't tell because all the chromy bits are on it, hiding everything. So I kind of see the thought process. But yeah, I've heard both ways. Chrome will get you home, black will get you back. Chrome won't get you home. My favorite one is the 1980s called They Want Their Billet Back. Yeah, it's a decent truck. And the truck, I actually knew the guy who owned it. He that's all this guy drove. The whole time I've known this guy, he always drove square body Chevys. always. When I first met him, he was driving a long box red 80s Chevy 4-wheel drive with a 6.2 diesel in it. And he drove that particular truck a long time. Then he got gassers after that, but it was always, and the 83 that Austin picked up was his last truck, because his cheese kind of slipped off of his cracker from age, unfortunately, which is too bad, because that guy was when he was on his game, he was a picking machine. He would find the absolute coolest stuff. His garage was just loaded to the gills with cool stuff. Yeah, he was cool and fair. I like dealing with him because you didn't feel like you got shafted with him. You know, you've walked away, you made a deal, you walked away feeling, yeah, I did good on that, instead of, you guy pulled the wool over me. Billet and pastelish paint schemes. Oh yeah, yeah, pastel blues and pastel pinks, and oh yeah. Pastel colors. You're right, though. You're absolutely right. And big old wheel tubs. Big wheel tubs. And gaudy graphics. Remember the graphics the guys would put on their cars with those pastel colors? like, like 1987. Around here in like 88 or 1990, it was real popular for mini trucks to get stripe jobs. And so, like Rangers and S10s and Dakotas, D50s, they would get these really loud, elaborate stripe jobs. And they'd have like heartbeats for Chevys was real popular. And then they would tape them off, and then they'd exaggerate them to the point where like the zigzags, like the heartbeats, would be coming up onto the window. There were stripes on the windows and all sorts of stuff. Of course, window tint and visors and KC lights and all that stuff. Cut the springs. net tailgates. See, all right, Austin. I always preferred over the net tailgate was the guys that like the bye nephew or bah nephew. Bye, Justin. Have a good night. Get your homework done. Take care. Good seeing you tonight. Would you watch your Jets with? Yeah. Or there was a guy that worked as a janitor right out of high school. I was working at a place that did, well, it doesn't matter. I worked at a place, and the janitor that worked there had a early 80s. It was a tomato red first generation Escort. And I think he bought about every hood ornament available in the J.C. Whitney catalog, and he had all of them on the hood of his Escort that he drove to work. Always had the Escort just shined up, and he looked like Joe Dirt. That's about the best way I could describe him, except he always wore denim. Always wore jeans. He always wore a jean jacket. And I never seen him in full Canadian tuxedo. Not like he wore a denim shirt, but it's usually a white t-shirt. And the guy was interesting for sure. The and he had like really cheap hubcaps too, that just looked horrible, like he got them at Kmart or something. Oh yeah. See, Coors Light, because mullets do rock. So that's why I like to refer to Coors Light as the silver mullet instead of the silver bullet, because we've already seen the silver mullet. It looks pretty good too. I had a really great idea for when I was toying with the Lemons, 24 Hours of Lemons race car idea, until I figured out that that is a lot of money to wing out on something that you can't really recoup it back. So even if you and five guys still step up and contribute, you know, what are you going to do? It's not like you can sell the race car and get all the safety equipment out of it. It's a $500 car. But I actually had dreamed up a livery for a 24 Hours of Lemons car, and I was going to call it the. It was going to be done up in a Coors Light livery, silver and the white and the black, but instead of it being Coors Light, it's going to say Coops Legit, and so, and on the door for the driver, it would say Coop. And then if they'd allow it, the helmet would have a mullet on it that hangs out the window as you drive. But yeah. So, oh, and the car number would be 00. So the OO in Coop would be Coops, would be also the number of the car. I had an O, and then that way it would say the silver mullet on it. So whoever drove the car was Coop. Coop. But yeah, it's like $4,000 or $5,000 or something like that to race. Uh, with all the safety equipment and licensing and all that other stuff, it's a substantial investment for a $500 car. I had a mullet in the 80s, and but my mom ran a hair salon out of our house. So, us, we were basically we were selling her salon. So we were always like haircut wise, we were always looking good on purpose because, that's selling my mom's business. But I do remember having a mullet for a little mullet for a little while, but mom quickly, I wanted it so bad she finally let me have it, but it was short lived. Because I also wanted to remember rat tail when you like cut your hair, so you just left just like an inch of hair and you let that grow. Air conditioned dryers. We had guys in my high school that would do some serious mullets, and they like to shave their head back right there and then on both sides and then let that go so they'd get better. We had one guy, he had just naturally curly hair, and his his would get his was huge. It was funny because I remember we us leaving, getting off the bus, going into school, and it rained, and his hair got all wet, and nobody recognized him because his hair was all wet and down on his face and stuff. Had to dry it off, and it got poofy again. Yeah, dehumidifiers. Dehumidifiers are neat. They're basically like they're like little air conditioners because that coil gets nice and frosty on the backside before it starts kicking out the water. You want to keep a beer laid up against it, let your beer get all nice and cold with all that power that you're chooching through that thing. Yeah, and then the when you dehumidify the air, the water that you're pulling out of the air is naturally soft. It doesn't have it's pure water, and be nice if you could use that like in the winter here in Michigan. you run a humidifier a lot of times just to put some moisture back into the air. Later, Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Good seeing you, man. Take care. Yes, yes, exactly. Running the AC to lower the humidity. Yeah, people don't understand that. Yeah, you can run the AC to take out. It's a dehumidifier. Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like when this person I know, well, I'm guilty of the crime too. That's how I figured it out. I drive around with the defroster on all the time. Never turned it off. Well, then, you realize that you're running that compressor the whole time and you're getting worse mileage. Turn that thing off, get better mileage. And yeah, it's pretty bad when you have an anemic ride, when you're running running that AC compressor and you turn that thing off and then it disengages and all that power is now not being utilized better instead of running that pump. Man, it's like turning on the nitrous. My mother-in-law had a like a 2000 Chevy Cavalier and had air conditioning. It was a 4-cylinder, and it was an okay car. But one particular day, we're trying to run the air conditioner, and her mom won't roll up the window because she chain smokes. So finally, we just gave up on trying to run the air conditioner. So my lady's driving down the road at 55 miles an hour, and her mom won't roll up the window because she's smoking always. So finally, I'm like, to heck with this noise. We're not going to waste the fuel. So I reach down and I switch off the air conditioner, and sure enough, when the minute that clutch disengaged, that's how much power it was robbing. Air conditioned hair dryers. Nice. Good to see you too, Juan. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in, bud. You know what? I've been on now for almost an hour and a half. Smoke with the windows up. When my mom smoked, she would always smoke with the window cracked. She'd at least do that for us. Um, Dad too. Yeah, at least they do that for us. But yeah, there's a lot of people that would just always. Isn't that sad? And she remembers when cigarettes were like a quarter a pack. Then again, she probably made a quarter an hour. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, you notice. Well, Austin and I notice because both of our rides have the mileage minder, the mileage calculator thing. Yeah, you watch that. Makes a big difference, doesn't it, Austin? Yeah, it takes a lot of power to run the AC system. So I'm going to, yeah, it's almost an hour and 4, 3, 2, 1, an hour and a half. Woo! Okay, everyone, have a great evening. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great Monday, and I hope you have a better Tuesday. Bye, everyone.